Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the new trading week, the first full week of trading for traditional markets. So there could be a decent amount of jockeying around in positions. So it could be a very interesting week. So it is good to see that we've got off to a good start, at least for this week. So yeah, that all being said, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So yes, Bitcoin on the 4-hour, we did break and hold above this level of resistance we had in here. It was pretty important, was governing obviously these highs, these lows. So it was a decent area to pay attention to. So obviously holding above there, breaking above, holding above, the market then took what was probably the path of least resistance, which was to the upside. If we actually want to draw in another horizontal here, for a potential new level of resistance, I mean, it's probably going to be around here, not too far away obviously from this higher level of around 17,500, but yeah, but that we are literally at that. We're testing into it, we're trying to break above it. So does this market have the momentum to break straight through this in one go, or is it going to probably maybe trade sideways, come back and test this older resistance, this new support, and then decide if it can break back above, or if it is actually to fail back below this level and then come and test into this support area. I mean, just looking at this chart, we are so far from being out of the woods yet, but you do wonder how much more FUD is out there, how much more selling, how much more downside there can realistically be. Open interest in this market is at very low levels, therefore there's not that many people participating, therefore there's not that many people here to dump prices lower. There's obviously the Mt. Gox coins, which was a bit of a concern, but yeah, not maybe too many catalysts that can drive it significantly lower. Maybe we test these lows again, maybe take out these lows, come down to 14,500, 14,000, 14,500 maybe, but I kind of think that the cause of like 9 to 10k Bitcoin, it's a tough call. It is a tough call at the moment. But yeah, nice pump we've got going on here. Like I said, we are at a level now where we can, I say make or break for the short term. Do we basically come back and test towards 17,000, just below 17,000, or do we break through and go straight up towards 17,500? And then we have the absolute line in the sand for this for this market, in my opinion, is around this 18,500. 18,500, maybe you'd like to give yourself a bit of leeway, 19,000. If we start basically closing dailies and weeklies above 19,000, then you've got to kind of expect we enter this range, and this range been the 25,000 to $20,000 range, and then make a decision of what we do from then. Do we go to 30,000, or do we then drop off again and then take out these lows? Digital markets are pretty interesting. Stock markets had a little bit of a pump, but nothing too spectacular. And as you can see, still currently quite a ways away from breaking this downward sloping trend line and even this horizontal resistance here. So yeah, a bit of a pump there. It's obviously good. Needs to basically hold this support area here. It needs to create a higher. These lows need to be a higher low relative to these lows, and we need to push on and make higher highs, and then, well, yeah, then you could potentially say we are out of the woods for stock markets. Maybe a bit of a premature call. 103 handle here for the dollar, literally on its lows. Had a nice pump up into its older support, new resistance, rejected literally at that, and then back down to the support. So testing the support for the second time, unless you want to class this as the second time, but testing support again. Tested many times here, come back down pretty aggressively here. It is hard to see that we don't trade lower in the dollar here, based on the aggressiveness of this move down, the amount of times this has been tested, and the fact we're down here again. It is the probabilities are stacked in the favour of breaking lower, and that will most likely be just result in more bullish price action for crypto particularly. Stock market's not doing too much. Also, the 10-year, funnily enough, tested all the way back up to its overhead resistance, and now is straight back down at its support level. Obviously, it has been quite a bit lower. This is the bond market, remember, and the yield on the bonds has been a bit lower. but we are obviously breaking back down. So is this going to be a nice lower high relative to these highs? I know we're going to put in a lower low, and it's well, the ironic nature of obviously bonds rallying being good for risk assets also is that what is going to play out here. I mean, it does look like it, doesn't it? So especially if the dollar breaks down as well. Oil not doing a lot. I mean, oil obviously more so part of the actual real economy. Maybe we are in a recession, we'll go into a recession. In certain places there is going to be a struggle in demand for oil. That is obviously separate to liquidity that is driving actual risk assets that are realistically just priced on just the cost of money, basically, i.e. liquidity. Gold reacting nicely, as you can see, actually above this resistance area now. It was 1880 that I had at the top. Is 1880 there? Yeah, it's roughly there. 80. This is basically basically a few times here. This is the level. It's pretty important for gold to get above. If we get above and hold above here, then we've got to be looking at moves into the 2Ks. Yeah, so silver is underperforming gold at the moment. I mean, if you are going to have this decent move up in gold, it will probably move quicker than silver initially, then consolidate, and then silver will make a move. In much the same way that Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin and altcoins do make moves. If we look at the gold-silver ratio, obviously this is it going up because gold is going up at the moment more than silver. So yeah, but it is in a big area of resistance, is in a very clear downtrend, very clear downtrend. So yeah, you could expect it to then come and take out these lows and accelerate to the downside pretty quick in sort of that inverse hockey stick fashion, where it then basically moves pretty fast to the downside, obviously with it being inverse. What else you want to look at? Let's look at let's look at Ethereum Satoshi pairing. Having a decent move here, is now up into the resistance area. Clear this resistance area, hard not to see a move up towards basically these highs, and potentially take out these highs and continue up. Obviously we're all Ethereum maxes here, or I am at least. I speak for myself. Ethereum USD pairing at almost breaking above this level now. Pretty important level. Pretty important level. Get above this, then yeah, I mean, we are then looking at trying to break. Obviously, this isn't we can't clearly draw a trend line in here, but trying to basically break above where you could have a sort of trend line. So yeah, I mean, obviously taking out this actual high would be fantastic. Would probably indicate plenty more upside. Probably above 2k, but yeah, at the moment, first things first. I mean, let's not escape the fact that this is still a pretty bearish looking chart and has got so much more work to do, but we know crypto moves fast. It could do this work pretty quick. It could basically get above 1400, 1600, and then I think the FOMO would start to come back in. Even if ultimately down the line were to get rejected, come back, take out these lows and trade lower, there could be I think it's Echo Bounce. Echo Bounce is the meme that's going around. Could have a decent rally anyway, nonetheless, regardless of what happens longer term. Anything else to look at here? Not particularly. Let's look at stochastics. We do know those longer time frames were not looking particularly good for us. Let's see how they're looking now. We do know the medium term ones were looking alright, and that's obviously what has been helping us here. I mean, 12 hour very elevated but still pointing up. Daily elevated but still currently pointing up, and then these are the ones that obviously we want to get moving. So buy daily turning up, moving up nicely here, so that is a good read. That can obviously help us consolidate at highs whilst we potentially go for a reset for this 12 hour and daily. 3-day looking to try and turn back up. This is a good read. This was not looking good before. This is good that it's looking to try and turn back up here. 5-day has turned back up as well, so that is good. That is very good. The 2-day and 5 days up looking good then. 3-day not far away from it. Weekly up. Yeah, what a difference a few $100s makes in a low volatility market. Bi-weekly looking to turn up from a low level. Clearly got all the field to run into. Obviously you would be a brave man to bet that this is gonna not trade up and trade lower than these lows, just based on how this is actually calculated. And then monthly looking to turn up as well. So I mean, it is looking good. It is looking good for more upside. Does that more upside get us into the 20Ks? Does it get us into the mid 20Ks? Does it get us to the 30Ks? And then do we potentially push on from there? I feel like everyone in this market would be more than happy with 30K. I've also spoke about, with obviously all the craziness and basically Ponzi nature of this market, I would personally count 30K as basically new all-time highs for Bitcoin. Clearly it's not in actual real nominal terms, in inverted commas nominal terms, but in real terms, with what got us up to 69,000, ended up looking like basically fake money, is around 30,000 of in inverted commas real money, the a real all-time high as opposed to a nominal all-time high. We shall. Well, we won't see. We'll never really know. It's just a theory, but yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at. So yeah, that is it, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.